Deep in the mountains of ancient Peru, there's a 3,000-year-old stone temple that absolutely changed our understanding of civilization in the Americas. This is Chavín de Huántar, and today we're going to explore the secrets locked deep inside its labyrinthine walls. So, picture this. High up in the Peruvian Andes, you have this massive ceremonial center built more than 3,000 years ago. Now, to put that into perspective for you, this was a thriving, powerful civilization centuries before the famous Inca Empire even came into being.
But this wasn't just some ordinary city. It was a religious capital, a pilgrimage site, an oracle that drew people from all across the ancient world. So what exactly was going on inside these stone walls? And what can it tell us about the incredible lost civilization that built it?
Okay, so to really get a handle on Chavín, you first have to appreciate its sheer age and its super remote location. We're talking about a 3,000-year-old puzzle built in one of the most challenging environments you can imagine.
And when I say challenging, I mean it. The site is over 10,000 feet up in the Andes. Construction started way back around 1200 BC, which makes this one of South America's earliest complex societies. The Chavín people who built it became a dominant force for centuries, and today, it's so important that it's protected as a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
This timeline really puts the longevity of the site into perspective. I mean, people were living here as early as 3000 BC. The main temple was built, then expanded over hundreds of years, hitting its peak around 750 BC, before it was abandoned. But what's really wild is that thousands of years later, in 2018, we were still discovering new, hidden parts of it. So you gotta ask, why? Why would this civilization build its most important center in such a remote, high-altitude place? Well, the answer is this amazing mix of geography and spirituality.
A lot of the power of Chavín's location comes down to just one concept: Tinky. It's a Quechua idea that says when two powerful forces meet, like two rivers merging into one, they create a sacred spot, a place of immense spiritual energy. And Chavín was built out of perfect Tinky.
And here you can see that idea in action. On the left, you can see the site is perfectly positioned right at the meeting point of the Masna and Hawachesa rivers. That's the sacred spot. And from this spiritual center, as you can see on the right, Chavín's unique art and influence just radiated for hundreds of miles all across the Andes.
So its location wasn't just spiritually strategic, it was also a physical crossroads. It was this perfect middle ground between the coast and the jungle, which made it the ideal hub for trade, for spreading new ideas, and for people from all over to come together and worship. All right, let's go inside. The temple itself is a maze of tunnels, plazas, and hidden chambers, and all of it was meticulously designed to create a really powerful, really awe-inspiring experience for anyone who visited. The site wasn't built all at once. It evolved. The original building, the old temple, was pretty exclusive, really inward-facing, built around a small circular plaza. But later, as Chavín's influence grew, they built the new temple, which was this massive expansion with a huge rectangular plaza. The goal seems pretty clear. They needed more space to handle the crowds for their ceremonies. But to get to the most sacred part of the whole complex, you had to navigate this dark, disorienting labyrinth of stone tunnels. It was designed to be this intense, sensory journey, pulling you away from the sunlight and the outside world and guiding you toward the very center of their power. And right at the heart of that twisting labyrinth, one single figure waits in the dark, the Lanzón. This thing is an almost 15-foot-tall monolith of carved granite, and it represents their supreme god. It's not just a statue, it's physically fixed in place, running from the floor all the way to the ceiling, basically acting as the spiritual anchor for the entire Chavín cosmos. And when you look closely, it's this terrifying and powerful mix of human and animal. It has a human body, but the snarling face of a jaguar. In its hands, it's holding two of the most sacred ritual items in the entire Andean world: a spondylus shell from the warm coastal waters far to the north, and a strongest shell. By holding items from both the mountains and the sea, this god was a being that connected their entire universe.
So we've met the gods, but what about the people? Well, archaeological evidence makes it pretty clear that Chavín was not an equal society. There was a definite hierarchy, with a small elite class running the show. This chart just lays out how stark that social divide really was. The elites, who lived near the temple, they ate the best cuts of young llama meat. The commoners, they got tougher, lower-quality stuff. Elites used sharp blades made of imported obsidian, while others used simple local stone tools. And this inequality followed them even into death,
with the rich buried with precious metals and the poor with just basic tools. It becomes really obvious that your social status was tied directly to how close you lived to the temple. The closer you were to the center of religious power, the better your life was. The priests and the elites, they controlled access not just to the gods, but also to the best food and resources. And you just have to admire the incredible skill of the artisans, who are probably part of this elite class. This is the Raimondi stela, another masterpiece of Chavín art. I mean, to create something this complex required unbelievable skill and time, which suggests the artists themselves held a pretty high social status, probably working directly for the temple priests.
Chavín's power eventually did fade, but believe me, the story doesn't end there. In the 21st century, a whole new chapter of discovery has begun, using technology the Chavín people could never have even imagined.
So around 500 BC, for reasons we're still trying to figure out, maybe it was social unrest, maybe climate change, the whole system just collapsed. The Great Temple was abandoned, its sacred stones were even pulled down by locals to build their own homes. The era of Chavín as a great religious center was over.
But today, 21st century tech is peeling back the layers of time. You've got teams from Stanford University and SciArc using laser scanning to create these perfect digital models. And even cooler, they're sending these little four-wheel drive robots deep into tunnels that have been sealed shut for thousands of years.
And the results? They are absolutely stunning. In 2018 alone, these little rover-like robots discovered, get this, some 30 new, previously unknown tunnels and burial sites deep inside the temple complex. It just means there is so much more to learn. When you look down at the site today, you can really appreciate its massive scale. It's a place where the deep past, this 3,000-year-old spiritual world, is meeting the absolute cutting edge of modern science. The digging might be slow, but the pace of discovery is definitely speeding up.
So we've uncovered their gods, their social structures, and now we're finding their hidden tunnels. As these robotic explorers and 3D scanners venture deeper and deeper into the stone labyrinth, the real question is, what fundamental secrets of this ancient Andean civilization are just waiting to finally be brought into the light?